Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I will be guiding you to install SSH and we're going to test it out and see how it works. For those of you who don't know what SSH is, SSH simply means secured shell. Okay, there is a form of remote tool that we use for remote access either to workstation or to service using port number 22. So we will be configuring that on Ubuntu. For my Linux guys, this is going to be fun. And if you are just a beginner, this is just the right video for you. This is a beginner video on how to install SSH on Ubuntu. So first, I'm going to log on to my Ubuntu application. For those of you who don't know how to install the Ubuntu, I have created videos on how to install virtualization technology on your computer so that you can be able to install the Ubuntu operating system along with your primary operating system. So this will help you to be able to practice, and do all these labs that we're doing, so you can follow along with the process. So I have already done the installation and there are videos. You can look in my channel for those videos, and we're going to begin. Let me log in first. So once the computer log in, I'm going to first verify. I'm going to verify if the computer has internet. So the best way to do that is go to shell. I will show applications. Click on show applications and click on terminal. Once the terminal opens, all you have to do is ping. Use the ping. Ping will work everywhere. Okay. Ping / count. That's C. C means count the number of times it should ping. Else it's gonna. If you don't specify this, it's gonna ping forever. Okay. So www.google.com. 4. There you go. So 4 times, that means that we have internet. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to install the SSH application on the Ubuntu desktop. So let's do that. To do that is just a simple command, sudo. Why am I using sudo? Sudo is called super user do, which means that if you are not a super user, this will help you to use as a super user. Okay, I'm currently a user logged in. You can see an as Nanjo here. That means I'm just a regular user. Okay, so and one of the things that we have done is I can log in as root for this particular computer because root has been disabled. Let's try that. Sudo -i. As you can see, right, I cannot log in to root because I disabled it. It's a form of what? Hardening, which I talked about in one of the videos, and I did about like 7 different ways you can harden your Ubuntu. So if you're looking for how to strengthen your Ubuntu, please look for the video in the channel, and then you should be able to watch all the different ways that we can harden Ubuntu operating system. So let's do. So super user do apt install then SSH. This is how you install SSH. Yes, as you can see, the installation, it didn't take long at all. It's just done and perfect. So now the most other important thing that we need to do is show our IP address so that we can test it. Okay, so to show IP address is what? IP address show. In other Linux operating systems, it's like ifconfig. In Windows it's ipconfig, and with Linux is IP address. Sorry, Ubuntu is IP address show. So as you can see, my Ethernet 0, I have an address. So the address is 192.168.204.151. So I need this address because I'm going to go to a different I'm going to go into a different computer so that I can use it to I can use this address to connect to this particular PC. Okay, so Let me minimize my screen and open to Linux Mint and turn on Linux Mint. Control Alt F2. So this is the thing with Linux Mint. You have to be observant. Sometimes if it stays in one screen and keep blinking, just press Control Alt and F2. Okay. So I'm gonna log in. OEM is the username. Okay, so I've logged in. I'm going to connect to the Ubuntu machine using SSH because SSH has been enabled on it. Okay, so I need the IP address that I was talking about. So I need to check. The IP address is 192.168.204. So you start the command like this: SSH 192.168. So that's all you really do. So you press enter and you see it's saying that once you do that, it's saying, are you sure you want to continue connecting? You just said yes. And it's asking for the password to connect to that Ubuntu machine. So this is the password for the local PC, okay? So it's saying permission denied. Okay. So let's see. So it says permission denied because I am not a super user and I didn't use that. So I need to add that. So super user do 192.168.204.151, enter password for OEM. Yes. Okay. Now it's saying that this is root at, you see? So as of now, if you can see my screen clearly, you see that authentication for host this can't be established, finger P, whatever. Okay, this is the authentication key. Then the key is not known by any other names. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes. Warning, permanently added 151. Okay, this list host. Okay, so right now it's asking for the password for the root account for that. So because right now it's ready for me to actually go in, you say root at, 192, that's the Ubuntu address. Okay, so I'm going to put the password for that. Permission denied. Oh yes, because the root account has been disabled. Alright guys, so we're currently logged onto the Linux Mint machine. Our goal is to SSH into the Ubuntu machine using the IP address of the Ubuntu. So just so you know, if you are going to SSH, you need to decide what username that you want to use to SSH into, okay? By default, it goes in as root. If you don't specify the username, it goes in as root. And we have disabled root at the Ubuntu side as part of our hardening process to ensure that the Ubuntu operating system is secured. Okay, so we're going to SSH into that. So to do that, you type in sudo, because I'm not a root, sudo SSH, then what? The username at the IP address that you're going into. Okay, easy as that. So you press enter. It's going to request for password. So you press enter. Permission denied. So it's saying that, oh, password. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, we have successfully logged on into the Ubuntu machine. You can see that it says that Sunday, May 5th, at about this time, 2024, we've logged in from, this is the address of the Linux Mint. Okay, so we can now verify the IP address. So we can say, okay, who am I? Let's see, who am I? Okay, So let's check pwd. Okay, and that's home directory. Yes. So let's say ls. So all the stuff I have on my current directory. Okay, so let's say show the IP address show. IP address show. And we can see this is the IP address that we just connected to. So that shows that we are in the right Ubuntu machine. So basically, this is how you log in to SSH. Okay, so by default we don't have to specify the port because SSH knows it has to use what? Port 22. So since everybody knows that, so it's also good to what? Change that so that only you will know that, okay, if I'm connecting to SSH, I have to specify the port so that I can be what? Secured. So what we are going to do now is I'm going to exit out of this Linux Mint. So exit, and connection is closed. So I'm back to my Linux Mint. So I'm going back to my Ubuntu. So in my Ubuntu, I'm going to type sudo nano sudo nano space the directory that we're going to go into, etc directory, then what? SSH, then what? SSHD underscore config. Okay, and press enter. It's going to ask for. So now this is where you can make changes to the port information about SSH. You can see, you can scroll down and see all the information about SSH. Okay, so we're going to make some couple of changes in here about that. So first and foremost, so now we're going to make some changes. Okay, so the first one is this. We make the changes port as well. We want to change it to 20, like want to make it 22222, just 4. Okay, so that people don't guess it, just think because that's because by default the port is 22. So you don't want them to know that. Okay, that is security. So we scroll down to see other changes we can make. Authentication. So we say permit root login, prohibit password. So we take off this. Also take off the comment from this as well. What else do we need to change? Authentication, public key authentication, yes. We're looking down to see some other changes. So it's saying the password authentication, yes. No, yes. So this one, permit empty password, no, don't permit that. So we uncheck that. So that is how we make changes to the SSH file. So prohibit password, empty password, no. So and change the port number. So that is how you make those changes. Now once those changes have been made, what is the first thing we have to do here? Control S to save, Control X to exit. Now once you've exited, you need to run one more command, sudo service SSH restart. This will restart the SSH service for the changes to take effect. So now that that has been done, so we're gonna go back into our Linux Mint machine and try to come back in with the same IP address. Okay, so again, make it big. So sudo SSH. Okay, press enter. Okay, as you can see, it's saying that connect to host this, connection refused because the port is not correct. So how do you change the port? So again, one more time, sudo SSH. Now this time you use -p to specify the port. Okay, -p. So if you don't have any other port that is different than the default, you just don't need it with Ubuntu. But if you have a port number that is different, then you have to what? Specify with a -p. Okay, and you put in the port number. This time we made it to what? Force 2222. Okay, that's it. And you press enter. Put the password for the user you want to go in with, and we logged in again. So we can do the same thing and we can check. Okay, we can check IP address show, and you see same PC 151. You see, if we were to check up there on Ethernet 2, Ethernet 0, you're going to see that the IP address is what? 192.168.204.151/20. Okay, so we have been able to successfully install SSH on Ubuntu desktop, and we have been able to successfully log on to that host with the IP address of the host with a username as well. We've also learned how to manipulate the port numbers so that people don't use the default, so that people don't use the default port number to come into your environment. So please, knowing to change the default port number is a form of what? Hardening. Please take a look at my hardening video on how to what? Harden Ubuntu, and you will see that there are so many other important things that you can learn from the video. So right now we're done, so I'm going to exit out of Linux Mint, exit out of my username, and we are back. So this is all good. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, please comment on the comment section, and I will love to hear your comments about it. And please like and subscribe. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.